What if you woke up to find that the G7, the most powerful group of investors in the world, had just turned the world's money system on its head? They did it without a big deal or news story. Instead, they made a deal that was smart, private, and quiet. It could be known as the most upsetting shift in financial power since the end of Bretton Woods. The Tokyo Accord is what came out of the emergency meeting, which was never made public. A shocking and never-before-seen order is hidden in this deal that most people still don't understand. The G7 has given XRP the official name of a Tier 1 backup asset. This is an official acknowledgement of a digital commodity that has been looked at, talked about, and questioned for a long time. Now, there's no need to guess. It's not about the next bull run or a price spike in the short term. This is the main idea behind how the best countries in the world store, trade, and lend money. It is written in the Tokyo Accord that all 7 of the G7 central banks must begin to buy and store big amounts of XRP. From what the secret paper says, XRP is more than just an asset. It's also an important part of a country's cash, a safety net, a bridge, and something that supports the new digital economy. The G7 is said to have agreed that $250,000 is the lowest amount of XRP that can be worth in order to reach these goals. This is to make sure that there is enough liquidity and functionality. Let's take a break. That number doesn't make sense. But first, let's look at what XRP adds to or replaces. Around the world, gold stocks worth about $13 trillion are kept above ground. Bonds and other promises that can't be seen or touched are worth tens of trillions of dollars and are used to back up the US dollar and other paper currencies. Inflation, lack of trust, and waste have made these old tools break down. Gold is heavy, hard to split, and costs a lot to move. In a fiat currency, the government can change the value and print more of them. When it comes to XRP, things settle down in seconds. There is no opposition as it moves from one country to another. The way it works is decentralized, so it doesn't support any one country. XRP has already been looked at by officials in more than one place, which is different from most coins. The G7 chose to make XRP a key reserve asset for more than one reason. It's not just about making enough money to stay alive. Take a look at the situation. In the past few years, currencies have been dropping, banks have failed, people have been short on cash, and there has been more political unrest. Around the world, rivals have tried to get rid of the dollar. The US has had rising debt ceiling fights, and inflation has gone through the roof. There is no dollar in the BRICS countries because they work together. Germany and other European countries are working to get the gold back to their own countries. So that trade stays stable. Japan has been looking for new ways to do this. It was time for the G7 to try something new. It should be global, digital, neutral, and easy to move around. In fact, that's what XRP is. There is nothing in the Tokyo Agreement that says you should get rid of paper money, but instead, it adds XRP as a neutral layer. This is a payment asset that different countries can use, and it lets them send money to each other without relying on each other's debt. People think very differently now. Countries no longer have to rely on Bs, trusting each other, or military-backed fiat to settle trade and conflicts. The idea of decentralization is not present here. Decentralization can be used as a tactic. Let's talk about the price now. Given how the market for XRP is right now, $250,000 per token might seem like a lot of money. But if you think of it as a backup tool that everyone uses instead of a speculative cryptocurrency, it doesn't seem so crazy. The G7 countries need a lot of money to keep their businesses going. Together, they make up more than 45% of the world's GDP. The central banks of every country would need to hold on to XRP for the digital banking infrastructure to work. In other words, cash pools need to be big and last a long time. For even a small amount like 10% of the world's savings, XRP would have to be worth trillions of dollars on the market. Each coin must be worth a lot more since there aren't many of them. Now let's talk about how this plan is put together. A lot of people can't see the Tokyo Accord. Strategic infrastructure groups, some private institutions, and central banks all use this paper to make sure their policies are in line with each other. The company that made the XRP system, Ripple Labs, has been in close but quiet talks with a number of countries since 2023, according to sources. It was said that the main points of these talks were compliance, scalability, custody solutions, and integrating into existing systems. People in dozens of countries already use RippleNet to send money and pay businesses in other countries. The Tokyo Accord just raises that to a whole new level on a global scale. Now things get even more interesting. The deal has a step-by-step plan. There are different stages in the first step. Through over-the-counter deals, each central bank will begin to buy XRP. This will keep the price steady while the items are being bought. In the second step, the public is involved, and XRP reserves and national balance sheets are shown in new financial groups. In the third step, XRP is only used as a bridge asset for payments between the G7 countries that need to be made in other countries. Right now, we're in part 1, so it's possible that people have already begun to buy. When the first country sells its XRP, there will be a huge rush to buy it. What would happen to other countries if the UK or Japan approved XRP as a backup ingredient? Groups of investors, national wealth funds, and even private investors who don't want to miss out will rush in. On the other hand, XRP can be used to pay for things, and it fits in well with how money is already kept. It's not a fence, it's the building blocks. Let us talk about what this means for current events in the world. XRP was used as a neutral reserve by the G7 to escape a possible fight with powers that were growing. It lets people from the East and West talk to each other. BRICS could use gold-backed tokens, and people in the West could prefer XRP. This might bring about a new era of peace online. They are no longer used to control in this world. Instead, they are used to work together. This is the next step in how money can be used for peace. But there are risks. What will happen if a big validator for XRP quits or is hacked? What will happen if XRP is dealt with in different ways by different law bodies? This is solved by the Accord, which makes copies of the files. There is no one in charge of the XRP ledger, but institutional validators are being built and added to make it more stable. Also, XRPL control models are being standardized across all G7 institutions. Take a step back and think about what this means for you as a person who follows the rules or as the owner of a trading business. The G7's decision has effects on more than just banks. It starts with users and ends with business banks, payment processors, and fintech companies. In the future, there may be payment apps that use XRP to settle deals between countries. It's possible to see bills that are priced in local money but backed by XRP liquidity pools. You might not even be aware that XRP is used in some of the ways you get paid. No longer is it a question of if. People are going too fast. It's way too clear what the goals are. The party has too many good people. The G7 is moved, so XRP is no longer a tool for prediction. It's something the government uses. What is going to happen next? Watch out for what central banks say in the coming weeks and months about digital tools for funding or being able to work with other countries' banks. On the public market, keep an eye out for sudden jumps in the number of XRP deals that don't make sense. This could mean that there is more OTC. Pay close attention to what Ripple Labs says about working with your own DS banks or technology providers. Pay attention to what the BIS and IMF say besides what they say. Keep an eye out for the first domino, which will be the first G7 country to say in public how much XRP it has. A lot of people come in when that happens. The price tag of $250,000 is no longer a guess. It's now a goal. Those who saw the signs early could get benefits that last for generations. We can see the change in value itself, from metal bars locked up in vaults to digital units that are safe because of code and agreement. It's not about crypto anymore. It has to do with rules, control, and the direction of the largest part of society's money, not as a bill, but as a measure. XRP is here.